I believe every one of us watching this right now are big time movie lovers. So I'm going to paint you a scenario. Picture this. The transporter, Shantytown, gives you Tokunbo. Am I right or wrong? Not entirely. Hello movie lovers, welcome to another movie review episode by PartyJollof, and today we're talking about the movie Tokunbo.
You have 2 hours 55 minutes on your clock. Good luck.
Buckle up.
Come on with this one. Because this movie is still relatively new, this review is going to be spoiler free as much as possible. Tokunbo is a movie produced by Ramsey Tokunbo. You can do your 1 + 1 together and get an idea of where the movie title came from. This film tells the story of Tokunbo, a former car smuggler who seeks to leave his dangerous past behind and build a better future for his family. However, he gets involved in a shady deal to raise money for his sick son. We see this guy who tries to turn a new leaf but ends up unfortunately finding himself in a position of dilemma. Tokunbo is a very good reminder that those closest to you can have the darkest intentions towards you and even plot evil against you and still pretend to be there for you.
Raymond, your call is like a breath of fresh air right now. I feel like my whole world is crashing around me. Raymond, I need you on ground in Abuja. You're one of the few people that I actually trust right now. Please, hold fort for me. Wow. Raymond.
This movie stars some big Nollywood personalities. We have the likes of Gideon Okeke, who plays the role of Tokunbo, an ex-car smuggler who decides to live a responsible life but needs money to save his dying son. We also have Funlola Aofiebi Rahimi, who plays the role of the central bank governor whose daughter was kidnapped. We also have Darasimi Nadi, the wonderful child actor I must say, who plays the role of Nike, the abducted child. Then we also have the likes of Majid Michael, who plays the role of Raymond, that is the deputy governor of the central bank and also the mastermind behind the kidnapping. Then we also have Chidi Mokeme, who plays the role of Gaza, the head of a gangster and also the ruler of a notorious location known as Labule. It's quite hilarious that most of the things that I liked about this movie also make up a large chunk of the things I did not like about this movie. Let's talk about the cinematography. If there was one thing they got right in this movie, or anything they had going on for them in this movie, it is going to be the cinematography. Like we say in Nigerian local parlance, cinematography won't wunjure this film. That was because the cinematography was so good. The color grading managed to establish the tone for the action scenes they were trying to portray in this movie. One thing I also liked about this movie is the accident scenes. It must be said that there was little to no use of VFX throughout this movie, so you can understand the kind of or the magnitude of work that was actually put into making this thing look as realistic as possible. The chasing was also very good. They made use of a real helicopter and the angular shot from the drone drifting over the helicopter was very awesome. I really enjoyed that about the movie. The fight scene was very realistic. It was the kind of fight that we see in everyday Nigerian day-to-day life, you understand, not the unrealistic Hollywood style that we see in every other Nigerian movies, you understand? So this is something we could easily relate with as Nigerians. I was particularly impressed by the acting of Gideon Okeke and the little girl Darasimi Nadi. These two really carried the movie on their heads, and we could also say that these were the only two people that gave stellar performances throughout the movie, and they were the reasons that the movie even made some level of sense. Now, talking about the things I don't like about this movie. Number one, the storyline. Like I said earlier, this movie feels like a mix of Hollywood The Transporter, Nollywood Shantytown, and Hollywood Fast and Furious. You get like the picked here and there from each of these movies to make this one piece. At this moment, I would not like to say much about the story because I'll be giving too many things off, you understand? But then, if I was to go into the storyline of this movie, there are lots of flaws here and there that I found in this movie, but I'll try to just keep it at what I've said already. Number two is the acting. While the color grading in this movie really did a good job when it comes to like setting up the tone for the action scenes we were expecting in this movie, I must say that the acting in this movie was very flat and the movie did not meet up to expectations. Funlola Aofiebi again. I don't know what is going on in Nollywood, but in recent times, most producers in Hollywood tend to put this woman in a particular role that makes her look insensitive. You get, that is a character, not a real person. You get, in Criminal, for example, we see this woman play the role of this brave doctor, heroism thingy that was going up and down. And I must say that I had a bit of an argument with a lot of people who felt she was the character, or our character was insensitive in that particular movie. But then I felt that, okay, we could still give her a pass for that particular movie, but not in this one. In this movie, we see that a child was abducted. That's our only child was abducted by criminals, you understand? And we still see this woman still issuing out threats to people who could end the life of our only child. That is not realistic enough, and I think they didn't do enough good job about that.
We are tracking them, madam. What you see is like looking for a needle in a haystack.
I don't care!
But that notwithstanding, Madam Fumilola Awofiebi Raimi is a great actor, come rain, come shine. Majid Michael's acting in this movie was below par, and I think this is the fault of the directors, not the actor himself. I think the directors could have done more by giving more gravitas to this particular character, because he was the real bad guy in this movie, or let's say one of the real bad guys, you understand? And so we expected more from someone like that, but it was just like, okay, what exactly is going on here? Here you get to, I was not really impressed by his acting. Like I said, I do not blame him. I blame the directors of this movie, because I believe they could have done better. The next thing I didn't like about this movie was the directing. I was sometime on the Twitter space a while ago and we're discussing movies, and somebody said something that actually caught my attention. He said one of the biggest challenges that Nollywood has is not even about financing, but about paying attention to little details. And I think the same thing applies to this movie. A lot of errors could have actually been saved from this movie if only the directors or maybe the producers actually paid attention to little details. The next thing I didn't also really like about this movie was the fight scene. Now, while the fight scene was good, the scenario was unrealistic. A lot of things kept on going on around the fight scene that in real life their chances of happening would have been very close to zero. That is, it will almost not happen. I just don't want to outrightly condemn or say that it won't happen, but it will almost not happen. In this movie, they tried with suspense, it failed. They tried with evoking emotions, it also failed. They also tried with intrigue. Well, it worked to some extent, but still also failed. Not even talk about the ending of the movie. It was terrible. Now, getting to our scorecard, this movie has an overall rating of 7.0 on our scorecard. And judging by our spicy meter, that is a spicy movie. Now to my final verdict. I must first of all commend the huge amount of money and work that has gone into this production. And I must also say that this movie was physically challenging for the directors and actors like Gideon Okeke himself. But overall, I was not quite impressed, to be honest. With the producers and the directors and the caliber of actors that were involved in this production, I definitely was expecting more. Don't forget, everything I've said so far, my own personal opinion concerning this movie. Please, I would look forward to hearing your own opinions about this movie in the comment section. Remember, at PartyJollof, we say no to piracy. Remember to get all your movies from the authorized channels only. For more movie reviews and interesting content like this, do remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at PartyJollof Africa. And remember to also like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Till then, see you some other time.